I used to believe that if conservatives didn't like something on the internet, go build your own thing. It makes some sense. You don't like this website, go build your own website. You don't like this blog, go start your own blog. You don't like this app, go start your own app. But the Parler situation after the January 6th stuff on Capitol Hill shows that you can't really do that anymore. And it's been going on a little bit before then, and it's escalated since. You build your own app. Well, now the app stores, Google and Apple, say, "Well, you're not allowed in our app store." Well, you can't be on an iPhone unless you jailbreak an iPhone, which people don't want to do. So therefore, Parler is precluded from being on your iPhone because Apple controls the app store. So you can say, go build your own app, but if Apple doesn't let it in the store, it's a private company actually controlling the First Amendment. It's not the government doing it, it's Apple doing it. Or you do let Parler in, but then Amazon's web services says, well, you can't use our servers. So you've got to go use a foreign country's servers or some other less robust system because the wokes target Amazon and make Amazon throw you off. It's actually really damn hard now. You can't just go build your own thing. You've got to go build your own internet. And you can't build your own internet because ultimately you require access to the existing internet and the existing wires. You can't force a company to connect to your internet when there's already an internet. It becomes controlling. And what we're finding is that the wokes are using private companies to do what they can't get the government to do. And now you've got another decision in the Supreme Court that's come out where Clarence Thomas, in the concurrence of a case, is saying we may need to treat some of these big tech companies like common carriers, where a private company can discriminate, a private company can censor because the First Amendment doesn't apply to them. But if they're a common carrier, then the rules become a little more unique. And this was a case about Donald Trump blocking people on the internet, and the Supreme Court rendered it moot because the president was no longer the president and his account has been deleted from Twitter. And Thomas, in his concurrence, essentially says, how can Twitter delete the account of the sitting president of the United States? How can it discriminate against these people? And Thomas may be on to something here. Because as he points out, you could potentially, if the railroad won't let you cross the river on the train and the toll road company won't let you cross the toll road, well, you could, of course, swim across the river, but we do decide with common carriers you can't discriminate among Americans and say you can't cross the river unless you swim. We're going to have to come up with something. The Supreme Court, I think, got the Google Oracle case right because we should allow innovation through copyright. And patent trolls have made it very difficult to innovate in software in this country. But Thomas may be right in this other case that we're going to have to start doing something with big tech companies who are increasingly behaving as a private police force for the left in this country, censoring conservatives. For example, there's a growing movement to allow, for example, radio over the internet. Apple has a radio button. You will notice that Apple hasn't gone down the road of talk, except for NPR. Doesn't want to risk having a conservative like me on Apple, and that's fine. If Apple doesn't want me, that's fine. But what if they start blocking the podcasts? I mean, Alex Jones ran into this, and I'm not an Alex Jones fan. But when you've got tech companies that are blocking all access for you to be able to engage with a conservative as the woke police force of the left, the government at some point does have to get involved. When one side is so culturally dominant, it can use the private forces of the Fortune 500 to silence its critics. You're going to start seeing a lot of small government conservatives think government may need to be just a bit bigger. And if Fortune 500 companies are going to do this, don't be surprised when Clarence Thomas's concurrence becomes the dominant position of the Supreme Court, because the wokes controlling the Fortune 500 to censor people they don't like becomes a problem for all of us.